Evening to you. Can you believe it's Thursday night? Nothing gets past me, and it's the internet phone in. Welcome, 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 I say, to our Thursday night phone in. I'm just looking to see, I think we're 82 tonight. Is that right? Number 82. How amazing is that? Fantastic stuff. The 82nd phone in show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's just see who we've got here. Hello, you're live on Scottie. Who's that? Hello, can you hear me? You're live on Scottie.
Hello, Scottie.
Hello, Karim.
Can you hear me, Scottie?
I can indeed, sir. Yes, indeed. Welcome. Lovely to have you with us.
Excellent. How are we, Scottie?
Well done for getting on first tonight.
No, thank you, Scottie. I want to get back to my normal ways.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You must get back to normal.
Excellent.
Now, what is happening?
Well, not too much, actually. Nothing over political. I felt last night that quite a lot of people did share their opinion of what we were speaking about, which was really good. Listening to everybody's comments.
Yes, it was very good. And one or two people, well, no, it was really only one. I think Colelio in Ireland was saying, you know, that he didn't know it was television. He didn't want to hear about television. That was it. And there was somebody else said that they didn't want politics. But I'm afraid that we avoid so many things on here intentionally that I think it's quite good to have a bit of a discussion and just show that we do have teeth.
Yes.
You know?
We're not afraid to talk of the big issues.
Absolutely. There's the wonderful geodog in South Africa, DINKY-DOO.
Lovely.
Yes.
Well, Scottie, just not to go into too much what we spoke about yesterday, but there was a quick discussion today in the Scottish Parliament, and it's not every day that I agree with Douglas Ross, the leader of the Tories.
I'm sure it's not.
Should I get sorry?
I'm absolutely sure it's not every day.
But he did say something that I thought, well, do you know what? I actually agree with him on this. And he says that he criticised the Scottish justice system for being far too soft on criminals and being released far too early.
I actually heard that, you know, and it was also a very good response from Nicola. But I did hear that, and, you know, obviously we have a very low crime rate in Scotland, but obviously one death, one murder, you know, is one too many.
Correct. No, I agree.
And that lovely lady, I'm just so sorry for what's happened there. You know, it's just awful. Because I mean, I know that area very, very well. You know.
And I think things like this, it doesn't matter where you stay.
No,
Scottie.
No, it doesn't make any difference at all.
You know,
I mean, there are people in beautiful big townhouses in London get murdered. You know, that's the thing, and I'm just so glad that they've caught the person, but so sorry for the lovely lady.
Correct.
And her family.
Yeah. I was really upset when I was really thinking about it, just thinking that all the lovely things that this person has done through working with literacy and helping young people to try and educate and, you know, generations, and then to leave this world in those circumstances is horrible.
Yes, just awful. And I think that we really need to make sure that we've got a very, very tight rein as far as possible on the condition of these people.
Yeah.
You know, people who think and act in that way.
Yes. Yeah. I did say last night about America that I do think there's a lot of things wrong with America, but when it comes to a prison sentence, they give out a prison sentence, and I think that's something that we could learn from that.
Oh, they're very, very big on law and order in America. I mean, it's a huge thing. It's very, very prominent.
Yeah.
And I mean, America has, since the American War of Independence, America has been a remarkably peaceful place. I know they've gone and fought wars elsewhere, but until 9/11, you know, the aircraft were apparently like taxis. You just wandered on and off them.
Well,
you know?
Yeah. there was another incident today, which it just makes me think about people. And we spoke about people last night, Scottie, and what type of people out there. And I won't go into details again, but it was just an example of a case that it was one of Britain's most dangerous men. And he's actually locked up for life. He's not getting out.
Yes. Well, I'm not going to go in. I mean, that's all very well, but I'm not going to touch on any particular cases, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into details what he'd done or anything like that at all. But the point that I wanted to make was that you could imagine when somebody's in for life, and that doesn't, for life, for the rest of their life till they die, what they've done was very, very wrong, very, very bad. But there were still people defending them, saying that's not fair.
Well, I mean, you're always going to get that. I mean, when the worst serial killers ever, I think, were Hindley and Brady. And they were doubly evil because they wouldn't say where they'd hidden the children.
Right.
So, Ian Brady and Myra Hindley, and when I was starting on radio, it was very difficult to avoid discussing. In fact, I think you'll hear Scottie McCLUE discusses Myra Hindley in one of the YouTube things. And I can remember calls that one was a man that when he was a child, he and his brother were coming back from a Man U football match at Old Trafford, and Hindley and Brady stopped and propositioned them.
Wow.
And she swung her legs out the car. It was a Ford Prefect, I think. And she had the coat on, and she said she would take them anywhere they needed to go.
Lucky escape.
Well, he told his brother to run, and then he ran.
Yeah.
And Brady was driving the car. So with that we then had people phoning saying, I was in jail with Myra, and we got on okay, and things like that. Now, the parents of the children were listening. And the other big phone in the Northwest, the host used to often take calls from the mother of one of the boys. So it was very, very big at the time. And it was very much these huge phone-ins, Kareem. You were really right at the center of whatever was going on in the region. And people would phone in about it. And it was legally, it can be a minefield. It can be a tightrope. But you can't say that the public can't discuss it. I can remember also hosting the 10th anniversary phone-in at lunchtime, standing in for the regular presenter of Hillsborough. So it was still, although 10 years had passed, everything was very raw and people wanted to talk. And again, as a host, you're on a tightrope.
Yeah. How, as a host, Scottie, how do you feel? Because obviously you're there doing a professional job, but you're the same as anyone else. You have emotions, you have feelings.
You can't help but have the feelings and the understanding, but you can't really show them. To be honest with you, you can't. Also, you can hear another side of it. I mean, say for instance now. We were talking about a young man that had killed somebody, and their mother came on. And their mother was an incredible person and told her side of the story. Can you imagine how tricky that is? The mixed feelings and emotions, not just of what the mother's saying, but everybody listening.
Yeah. Well, that would have... God help your next few calls if that ever happens. It's really difficult.
I mean, I can remember something. This wasn't really terribly serious at all, but it was an incident with a politician and a taxi driver, and everybody was slagging off the taxi driver, and then this girl phoned. She said, "Can I just speak? This is my father that's being talked about."
Wow. Right.
But then again, that's one of the strengths of the phone-in. And in those days, most of the local radio stations had a phone-in or had access to one. You see, and it's very important. That's the reason I do it, Kareem. I don't need to say, "Do you remember Scottie McCLUE? That's me." I don't need to do any of that. You know, I mean, I could quite happily work at my books or watch a bit of telly or a movie. But to me, this is far more important. Building this is far more important because it's about real people. You know, and yes, of course, we started from scratch. We're not even kidding ourselves. That's the beauty about it. But we're all here and we're growing.
Yes. Well, you say that all the time, Scottie, and I think, and I've heard stories where you've said a lot of, there's been a lot of, is it producers or executives that have just tried to client you, or no, people aren't going to like that when clearly they do. And it's a way, what we've said before, you listen to normal people's thoughts, opinions, and just talking.
And that's what's important. And these are the people that a radio or television station is serving. But they forget that sometimes. They get out of touch. They think, that'll do them. Just give them that. Don't necessarily give them what they want. And the thing about Scottie McClue's phone-in, because it attracts such huge audiences on radio and television, you've got, as I said to you the other night, the risk-averse type of manager who would actually have managed to hang on to their job if they'd taken Scottie McClue. But what's also interesting is they're praying that a rival station doesn't take me. So whether they would need to do an agreement to say, look, you're not going to take, can we agree that we don't take Scottie? Because if the rival station does, then they're in trouble. And what's even worse is they don't have any defense, because you could say to them, well, you were offered it. You could have phoned. We could have had a coffee. I know I don't drink coffee, but that's what it's called. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing. I can remember when a station was about to hire me, and I had a conversation with another station, and I said, so you definitely aren't interested. And the guy was put on the spot, and he's going, no, I'd better say no. Now, why had he better say no? He's been offered the most successful radio show in Scottish history. And it was the same with a commissioning editor on television. You're very talented, Scottie, but I'd better say no.
Well, as you said, a lot of these people now are not in the position that they're in because of their bad decision making.
Yes, they'll have gone. You'll never hear of them again. I looked them up. I looked them up a few years later. Not a trace.
Yeah, they're gone.
You know, they're gone. So they're obviously not interested in long-term career. But you see, I would love to be the person in the media that hired Scottie McClue and built the station. And I know that my bosses were absolutely chuffed because they sold the station for a fortune.
Absolutely. And it was in a portfolio that if you've got a full team, not just yourself, and no disrespect, but if you've got a full team within that station that are absolutely outstanding and bringing in...
And that's what we had. That's what we had. I mean, the full team for the phone-in was the lovable lassie or the wizard of the big switchboard when it was a guy, and myself. You know, and that was the production team, and that's why it worked so well, because you have instant communication. There's no meetings. There's no emails. There's nothing. There's the talk back. Scottie, Kareem's on line 3. And I think, right, I'm just going to go to him. So I say, night, Betty McWeckle. Hello, Kareem.
Hello, Scottie. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes. So you see, it's that sort of thing. And commercial radio has got huge possibilities, huge opportunities out there. Now, I might just have, I don't know, another 10 years of work in me. I might get fed up after 10 years. But... you know, there's the possibility of building something, so we might as well build it on here, pro tem.
It's like a sleeping giant, Scottie. I think a lot of these stations are now, like football, if you look at Aston Villa, they say that that's a sleeping giant, or what Arsenal used to be. I think a lot of stations are like that now. They're just sleeping giants, and they need to be awakened, and they need to have...
They're keeping their transmitter warm by playing a few songs and hoping, sticking a finger in the air and hoping that the people will come and join them. Because the market is very, very fragmented. But if you put on an appointment to listen, you see, nobody listened to me because they were told to listen to me.
Right.
Well, maybe by their mums or their grannies, that's a different thing. But nobody was told to listen to me. Nobody listened to me because there was nothing else. Nobody listened to me because it was the only thing that was in the go. Nobody listened to me for the quality of the music I played. Nobody listened to me because they thought, well, we have to, otherwise we won't hear the next program. So people actually made that appointment to listen at 10 o'clock. They said, find a radio and get it tuned in to Scottie McCLUE.
Yes, that's exactly what I did, Scottie, when you were on Nation Radio.
You know, let's have something different. Let's have something where we understand it. Let's have something where we ask the questions and the presenter gives the answers.
Absolutely, Scottie. But very quickly, my second point, because I know I'm holding a bit of time.
Sorry, I'm giving you all this chat as well, Kareem, but I'm just explaining kind of how it all actually works.
Yes, no, it's interesting, and it's like, it's fascinating to see what goes on behind closed doors.
And what we are at the moment, especially after last week, as I say, I did a big podcast, and you know, what we are at the moment is effectively a shop window for talk media.
Yes, absolutely.
If you like the talk genre, put Scottie McCLUE on your internet, your YouTube channel, subscribe and tap the bell. They're still very slow at that. They need to up the game on that one. Subscribe and tap the bell, and get ready to rumble at 9 o'clock.
Absolutely, Scottie. No, I couldn't agree more. The target's 10,000 now. Had the free, now it's
10,000. We need 10,000 people to go on to Scottie McCLUE's YouTube channel and subscribe and tap the bell.
Absolutely. Well, definitely, Scottie. But my second point, very quickly before I go, Scottie, was I was reading that February the 1st will be in Scotland the smoke alarms, the linked smoke alarms.
Ah, yes.
But I don't think, personally speaking, I don't think it's going to be a very popular with a lot of people. I know all new houses will have them. Excuse me, and I know council houses will have them.
Yeah.
But for Joe Public to pay minimum £220, it's quite a lot of money for smoke alarms.
It's a lot of money. I mean, if they want to bring it in by law, then perhaps they should be paying for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think it'll be very hard.
Hello?
I've certainly got no intentions of paying that amount of money for smoke alarms. And someone was raising the point that if you're in the tenement blocks and you've got somebody in the first floor come in on a night out and burns toast or something, the whole alarm
goes the lot.
Everyone's going to be woken up within the flat.
I mean, I have absolutely no doubt that at some point in your career you've been out in the playground because you know, somebody's made a bit of toast.
Yeah, absolutely. The home ec department burning stuff. Yes, totally.
You know, that's the whole thing. And you know, I think that is going to be a bit of a concern. Just bringing stuff in and going, this is the law, and it will cost you all. I think there needs to be a lot more consultation with the people. The people might not be smart enough in general to make a decision on something like Brexit, but I think they can make a decision on their own home safety.
Yeah. My argument is, Scottie, I live in a two-bedroom house, or even when I was in my one-bedroom flat, it's not as if I'm living in a giant mansion. If the alarm goes off, I'm going to know where it's going to go off. If all the alarms are going off, where is the fire? You know, right?
That's the other thing. And they are very effective. I mean, I have this little, just looks like a little plastic disc. And, you know, I was having my Saturday morning fry up, and suddenly I thought, whoa, that pan's getting warm. You know, it's too warm for the eggs, and suddenly, woo, 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 woo. You know, and the thing is, they're very difficult to stop.
Yeah. And if you think of people that have got babies, toddlers, and you know, I do think it's going to be a lot of issues. The plumber that was fixing my heaters said what he can see for the first couple of years that will be implemented, where you can have it battery operated or you have it to your mains. But he thinks in a few years' time they're going to make it law for everybody in every house to have it attached to the mains electricity.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Unless you get a power cut. Because a battery, because these things are very clever, they're very intelligent. I think if the battery runs down, it goes off, it makes noises.
Well, I think the batteries, they're meant to be 10 years, but see, at the end of the day, how do you know if it's going to last for 10 years?
Well, this is it. But as I say, if it makes a noise, then that's not so bad.
Yeah, but then you'll have to replace all of them, wouldn't you? And then how much would that cost to get new ones in again?
Absolutely.
I think, for me personally, one alarm's fine. A wee smoke alarm if you want. You can buy these all separately. They don't need to be all linked together. You know, that's my opinion anyway.
Good one, Kareem. Lovely talking to you. And Dinky-Doo, la.
Speak tomorrow. Thanks, Scottie.
Speak tomorrow, Lala. Right, that's our Kareem. Now, lots of chat here. The TV's off. Scottie sitting back and enjoying the chat, says Charlie. Hello, pal, says Thomas Hamilton. Life sentences. Why not bring the firing squad back? Done and dusted. No cost to the taxpayer. Robert Campbell. Good evening, Scottie. Good evening, Robert. All right, Scottie, says Jamie. Good evening, Scottie, says Charlie. Now, what we got here? Good evening from Inverkip. Thank you for 10 mini speakers, Beachy. Hello, Scottie McCLUE. I'd better take this call. Somebody's going daft. Are you live on Scottie's phone in? Who's that?
Hello, Scottie, man. It's Martin.
Hello, Martin. How are you?
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Disco Pete's just sent me 16 beautiful TikToks on the TikTok channel.
Nice.
Welcome, TikTokers, I say. Fantastic. Good evening, Scottie. I hope you're well. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes. What's your view on Edinburgh charging people to get into the Edinburgh market?
Well, I don't know. You see, I mean, these markets are expensive.
Yes, but the thing with that's a new thing that's coming into shape now. Like, go up to Edinburgh market and they need to buy tickets to get into a market.
Right.
And they're trying to limit all the people from getting in.
Well, this is it. Maybe they're trying to keep a wee grip on the numbers, actually, Martin.
Yeah.
And you see, paying for something just focuses people's attention. You know what I mean?
How's your soaps been tonight?
How's my?
Soaps. Did you watch Emmerdale?
I saw Emmerdale tonight. How crazy is that woman?
I know.
Smashing the hoose up.
I know.
And I'm worried about this big crim, you know, and the wee ones.
Yes. When do you think it's going to snow this year?
Oh, Martin, if I knew that, I would be a millionaire. If you said, ring Scottie McCLUE and ask him what's the weather doing. I said, it'll cost you £1 each. I'd be a millionaire, Martin.
I know.
I can only tell you by my experience when I look out and I think it's going to snow.
But you told me you like to wake up to a nice crisp morning.
I like a nice crisp morning, but not too much ice on the car. Because that holds you up and then you can be cutting it fine.
Yes. So I'm still doing all my TV series. I'm still doing all that still. So
you're still having a look at these. You're an absolute top man. Oh, Martin, you'll love this. I've uploaded one of your calls.
Thank you.
So you'll see it on the TikTok. You're on the TikTok, aren't you? Yes, you'll see it on the TikTok and you'll see it on the YouTube. It's the last one uploaded.
I am going to download it now.
Right, go and download it. You will absolutely love it. And Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo. Love you, Scottie.
Love you lots, la. Live sentences. Yes, indeed. Hello, everybody. Hi, Kareem, says Susan. Dinky-Doo, Scottie McCLUE, says Kareem. Jeffrey says, good evening, Scottie. Good show. Dinky-Doo, Scottie, and everyone. All right, big man, says Scottish Gamer. Eddie Doyle from Newmarket. Dinky-Doo the new. Dinky-Doo, Eddie. Lovely to have you with us. And a very, very warm welcome, I say. That's what it's all about. America focus on punishment, whereas the UK focus on rehabilitation. So less jail time. Yeah, but Greg, we can always build new jails if we need more time. I'm guessing you enjoy drinking whiskey and shooting grouse. Christopher, I have never shot a grouse in my life, and I haven't drunk whiskey for about, 6 years. So there we have it. But I used to enjoy drinking whiskey and sitting at log fires. There we are. And I did have very good field trials Labradors. But no, we don't shoot the grouse. Sir, who's the photo behind you? The one on the right. Which one's the right? Is that way? That's me. And that way, that's me. So there we go. Fantastic. It's himself. I got presented with these. Handsome man. I thank you very much. Andrea, you're very, very kind. If you're a new viewer of Scottie McCLUE, he's hugely famous. Only the 2 billion people, 2 billion, that's it. That means it's only a third of the world have heard of Scottie McCLUE. I've listened to the man, but because of my work, I can't always get on, says Andrea. Ah, bless you, Andrea. We will get you on. Now, if you're watching on TikTok, go to my TikTok bio, click on the YouTube channel, and subscribe and tap the bell. Okay? Just do it now, guys. Very important. Just do it. What movie is that from? Just do it. Can you remember? You can't blame the mum or the dad for the kids. CBS, I think you can. I think in general you can. So they are. Dinky-Doo, says young Paddington. Dinky-Doo, young Paddington. Lovely to have you with us. Yes, you can blame the mum and dad for the kids. Now, Jay Donnelly, we never, ever, ever discuss anything with the pandemic on here. We leave that to mainstream. Standy, you're trolling. We don't ever say that. There we are. As a member of the public, I've never felt so betrayed by the government. Lies and going back on its word. Galileo, I can well see your point. Galileo, I said you were from Ireland last night. Did I get that wrong? There we go. Dinky-Doo, did you pop up in the middle of an Irish discussion? Neil O'Gormley, good evening, Scottie. Good evening, Neil. I hope all is well with you. You may retire financially, but you'll never retire from your public and from your fans. Chris, I don't think I ever will. And I don't think I'll retire financially either because of what happened to me about, I don't know how long ago it is now, but one very, 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 very bad man took money off me and we had to start again. So there we are. So that wasn't so good, but I've worked out that by the time I'm 97, I should be all square. So there we are. So if anybody's feeling generous, go to the paypal.me and stick in a $5. paypal.me/Scottie McCLUE. Do you like Scousers? I don't like Scousers. I love Scousers. Love them. Absolutely adore them. I used to broadcast to the Scousers on Radio City in Liverpool and on Century Radio in Liverpool. We love it. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. I doubt there's a Scouser who hasn't heard of Scottie McCLUE. Fantastic voice, Scottie. You've got to run for MP. Could you stand this, standing up in the House of Commons? Mr. Speaker, may I address the honourable gentleman opposite? And may I correct him on a couple of details? Yes, here. On you go, Scottie. This will be good. All that. Fantastic. So there we are. Better safe than sorry. Absolutely beachy. I've heard you dislike the French. You are wrong 100%, Propaganda. In fact, you might be wrong more than 100%. I adore the French. I didn't like what they did to the monarchy, mind you. That was bad news. Disco Pete sent me 16 mini speakers. The £10 alarms are good enough. Yeah, but do they fit in with the law? I say. There we are. Ooh, the banter. Scottie, what do you think of how veterans are treated? Not terribly well. except in some quarters by some people. So we need to do a lot better in that area. Now, there we are. What's your thoughts on HS2 being cancelled? Millions already wasted. Promises broken. Well, Kalilio, I was never, ever a fan of HS2 because I could see the problems it would create. These people don't read their history books. They need to look back to the Victorians and the things that they did, planning the sewers. Kareem in Glasgow is sending me beautiful presents, mini speakers and TikToks and toast and jam and more mini speakers and fairy bread. Kareem, you are so kind. I thank you, sir. So they need to take their cue from the Victorians, both sides of the ocean. And that's what politicians aren't particularly good at, reading their history books and looking into things. So HS2, I think the money should have been given to, I don't know, the BBC or commercial radio to pay for Scottie McCLUE's phone-in. And that would have been a much better use of the money. There we are, plus the disruption. They should also have started it from the north and worked down. Said, we haven't quite made London yet, but you can get from Newcastle to Birmingham in, an hour. So that's what I think. I was never a great fan of HS2. I think if you want to speed communications up, look at speeding up the internet and voice over internet protocol. That's what I would be looking at. What we are doing now, we are meeting with the world. Now, admittedly, the world doesn't know it yet. That's your job to get sharing and sharing. I don't know if there's anybody watching who perhaps has got access to a huge number on social media. One share might be enough just to do it. Oh, I didn't know this was on. I love this. There we are. Now, tell us the weather, please, buddy, in your accent. Oh, Martin, do you want the weather? Hello, good evening. And now a look at the weather. A little bit windy tomorrow with a fair bit of rain as well. So the windswept look is in order for you. Those of you who haven't got your hat on and your rainmate, if you've got your hat on, hang on to it, of course. Temperatures fairly normal or above normal for this time of year. There might be the odd rumble or two of thunder. So never have the brollies too far away, but do be careful opening them because the wind can be quite gusty. That's your weather. Good night. Did you like that? There we go. There you have it. Whew. It's warm in here tonight. I'm just giving myself a quick comfort break. I've already subscribed, says George Goodwin. Not Irish, Nottingham. Born live in Liverpool. Kalelio, I don't know, maybe you joined in the Irish discussion and I got mixed up. My apologies, dear boy. There we are. Scottie, Addy the Baddies checking in. Javosk, thank you for your beautiful roses. Kareem sent mini speakers and TikToks and everything on here. What a lovely man. There we are. Thank you for the fairy bread, Kareem. Only one caller tonight so far, Scottie. That's absolutely fine. Maybe the phones aren't on. No, we've had two callers already. We've got Kareem and Martin. So your arithmetic needs a little bit of brushing up. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, Scottie. You were fantastic there, mate.
Did you like that?
Oh, yes, I did. That video you uploaded is fantastic. I've been downloading it now.
Good boy. Did you like it?
Yes, I did, mate.
Excellent. Chess King says the number's not been working.
Cool.
Scottie, what do you think about comedians being banned from performing in theatres by certain councillors? Jordan, I think it's shocking, especially if the comedian has an excellent track record of filling the hall.
Scottie.
Yes, sir.
Scottie.
Yes.
I am going to jog your memory, buddy.
Good for you.
First Minister, 2 pints of lager, 2 pints of full children. Yes, Minister. A holy jolly Christmas. After you're gone, a home of the best ways. Ballicus Angel. You still remember that one?
Now, Ballicus Angel, I think I told you the story about driving round Ireland. Did I tell you that?
Yes, you did.
What was that one? Can you remember it?
Can you jog my memory, please?
I can jog your memory. I was driving around Ireland, and I came to this beautiful village. I was going to see a very important site. I was going to see the meeting of the waters at Avoca, and I drove into Avoca, and I thought to myself, I've been here before, but I couldn't possibly have been. And the place was so familiar. It was beginning to freak me out, Martin. Imagine what that feels like. Everything's familiar, but you've never been there before. So I wondered if it could have been a previous life. Then I realized I was actually in Ballykissangel.
Wow.
So I'd watched it every Sunday night on the telly. I saw the church. It was so familiar.
Wow. What about London's burning? That's another thing.
I remember London's burning as well. Yes, I didn't watch it all the time. I wasn't hooked on it, but I was hooked on Ballykissangel.
I am actually going to take the high road now because I'm watching the older ones now.
Wonderful. Take the high road. Outstanding. Beautiful piece of work.
Yes. Plus,
and sadly, Grace Lachlan, Marjorie Thompson's no longer with us. And quite a lot of the people are no longer with us on there, sadly, because it's over 40 years since it started. So anybody that was 50 then would be 90 now, you know what I mean? Sadly, Alec Monteith died in the spring. Dougal, the farmer. You know, but these are great people. These were lovely actors.
So do you remember Soldier?
Soldier. I like Soldier as well.
And the Darling Buds of May.
Darling Buds of May was wonderful. Yes, indeed. David Jason and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Plus Rosemary and Thyme and the Bill and that as well.
Yeah, remember all these? Absolutely. Have you been watching these?
Yes.
Good man. Yes, you'll love these.
So I'm a big soap fan as well. I can't stop watching my soaps because I love my soaps.
You like your soaps. What about High Living? Charlie's asking. Do you remember that one?
Yes, I still remember that.
High Living, up the high-rise flats.
What about Monarch of the Glen?
Monarch of the Glen, Richard Bryars and Susan Hampshire.
Cool. Here's a question, Scottie.
Yes.
Have you met Jack and Victor from Still Game?
No.
Because I know they've got a massive house in Glasgow.
Right, we'll not go into that. We'll not say where that is, though.
Okay.
Very important.
I know. So they're very, very good casting people anyway. So
yes, no, they're absolutely excellent. Yes, indeed.
I still remember Still Game as well. I still remember that. Do you like wearing kilts a lot as well?
Kilts, yes, wear a lot of kilts. Well, just one at a time usually.
Cool. Because the last one you wore, I think, was last Sunday.
No, I didn't have my kilt on last Sunday.
No. So you only wear kilts when you go into weddings and all that, yeah?
Yes, that's right. I'll let you know. I'll let you see that. Oh, I know the one you're talking about, the General Salute. Yes, I've got my kilt on for that. Absolutely. Lovely. Now, Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo, buddy. Scottie.
Yes.
Hi, Scottie.
Hello, lovely. How are you?
I'm good. You?
Yeah, we're great tonight. Thank you very much.
Good night, Scottie.
Night, la, Dinky-Doo. There we are. That's our Martin. Fantastic. Scottie, turn the heating down. No, it's we can't, Charlie. It's set. There we are. Hello. Hope you're well. It's on low as it is. It's just I'm a very hot person. Very often I used to not put the heating on till the 29th of November was the one I managed to get. We'll see who this is. Hello, you're live at Scotty's Phone In. Who's that?
I need to turn my heating down. It's a wee bit hot in here tonight, you know.
Did you have to turn the heating down, Davey?
Oh, Oh, it's getting a wee bit hot, son. Hot.
It's getting a bit hot in here. We've had a few hot topics on.
Oh, son. I'm just going to turn it right down, okay? How are you, all right?
I can't turn mine right down, Davy, because I've got it set.
See, but Scottie, do you know actually go on back and reset it? No?
What do you think of this? Remember, Get Some In, the Army sitcom, says Corelio. Yes. Was that not who was on that one? And I think you're battering your head against a brick wall, Scottie, but you're such a gentleman. What does Betty Jo mean by that, would you say? She says, I think you're battering your head against a brick wall. Does she think I'm wasting my time trying to build a phone in?
That was the good old days. People said you're batting your head off a brick wall, you know.
Aye, but do you think I am, Davy?
No.
I don't think so. No. I think Betty says, I think you're battering your head against. So she's got a little faith in it. She doesn't think it'll work.
I don't get it. They text and they say things like that, but they can't come on your show and actually give you a challenge.
Well, she should come on and say why she reckons that. That would be quite nice, and then we could all make a decision.
Exactly, son. I understand, you know. Here, Scottie.
I don't think I'm battering my head against the brick wall at all.
Of course not.
I think we're just starting the cusp of something massive.
Aye.
See, when I came up to Scott FM, Davy, everybody warned me not to. It's a new station. It might not last. No, that thing you do the nights now, the Scots will no go for that.
I mean, Scottie, you know what? You know, you're off your head. We all love that.
We just completely proved them 100% rang.
Yeah, I like when you're off your head. You can wind people up.
I had to say to them, you are rang.
Yeah.
Would it not be nice in the House of Commons if maybe say that, I don't know, somebody stood up and made some points all la-di-da and said, so I think, Mr. Speaker, that is the way ahead for this country. And then he said, the member for Glasgow. And I stood up and I went, rang. Would that not be quite good? Mr. Speaker, I have only 3 words to say to the honourable gentleman opposite. Rang.
I just love what you do. You're a good wind up.
You know,
me? I know you do.
And the nation would back me. I know they would.
Of course, the bloody would. The bloody really would.
What about this? Charlie says, Scottie, did you see the great Gwyneth Guthrie, brackets Mrs. McCLUE, brackets, passed during the week? Well, we knew that. Great actress, where the Queen particularly asked to meet Gwyneth when the Queen was touring STV studios.
Well, my friend Mark, excuse me, I had a friend, Tim, who used to work with Mrs. Mac.
Aha.
Glasgow. He was an orchestra guy.
Oh, the one you told me about, yes.
Yes, Mrs. Mac was his best friend.
Excellent. Oh, are you all right there, Davy, outside with that?
A wee bit of breathless COPD.
You're fine. Oh, talking of COPD, did you see that comment last night?
I did last night.
I was saying, you know, there's another one. It's called, and I couldn't get it, and it's emphysema. And somebody said, emphysema. Yeah, what is the first one?
Right, so he said emphysema is an old one.
Yes.
But then he said I've got his one COPD. It's pulmonary obstruction, pulmonary disease.
What's the first? I knew the last 2 were. I know that the last 3. What's the first one?
Right, the first one was when I knew was emphysema.
No. What's the first? The C stand for?
Right, pulmonary. Pulmonary obstruction.
Well, I know the other one. The other's obstruction, pulmonary disease, because pulmonary
obstruction, pulmonary disease.
Pulmonary is your lungs, so anything pulmonary.
Right, and then at the end, the D is disease.
But it's the C. I had to work out what the C was.
Disease. You're right.
Absolutely. So that used to be called, according to this guy, emphysema.
Right. see.
And you would say to somebody, because in those days everybody kind of smoked in Glasgow, you know.
Oh,
And
yes,
and you would say to somebody, how's your mother keeping? She's all right. She's a wee bit emphysemic.
Yeah. I was smoked for years.
You
I
see?
stopped about 20 years ago.
Well, they'd smoked during the war, you see, when there was just fags.
Fags were bad then during the war.
Oh, everywhere, because they were so cheap, David. British cigarettes. See this habit. Do you remember when you smoked, you crashed your fags?
Oh, yeah.
You used to say, who's for one of them? And you chucked them round the room.
I was bad with cigarettes, Scottie. I was smoking. When I used to take amphetamines, I was taking more cigarettes, you know.
Aye, but do you mind you threw them at people? Here, no, have some of these. And if you found another smoker, you pulled them out the packet and shoved them in their pockets and things.
Yes.
Because they were so cheap.
And you had to open the windows, you couldn't even
breathe. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Honestly, it's crazy. Here, Scottie, before I go, I'll just tell you one thing. Back to last night about the Colby's, the soap.
Oh, yes, before you do, I'll just finish that. The British cigarettes were so cheap compared with foreign cigarettes. And the duty was they're so high in them. So people were just very generous with them. And that, of course, is why after 50 years of smoking, everybody was dying of it. You know what I mean?
Of course. Woodbine were dangerous. Woodbine.
No, don't mention fags. Don't mention any fags.
Right.
No, we can't mention fags. All fags are dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's terrible. And I mean, John still smokes a fag and they might pipe things.
Yes, all cigarettes are dangerous. The warnings are on the packet. Yes, honestly, it's no secret.
Lethal stuff, son. You know, Scottie. You know.
Absolutely. Sorry, I have to keep on you for all these things.
That's good, son. You do that. It's your job to look at me on the screen.
Well, no, these are the things. There's certain things in a phone in you can't mention, and we don't do products, of course.
Again, but I didn't tell you you can't mention a product. People take that.
Well, you can't mention a product because it's the product. You see what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I know.
You see, it's the same as in your soap operas. You know, if they were to put a certain washing up liquid in, people would then see it and think about buying it. So it's called product placement.
Of course, it's crazy. Now, I can't see you before you go. I need to remind you about last night, the Colby's, the soap.
Oh, the Colby's, yes.
Right, so Charlie Heston, Stephanie Beecham and Fallon. Fallon was also on. She was also in Dynasty and the Colby's.
She was brilliant. I remember her. She was amazing.
She was beautiful.
Yes, they were all very glamorous.
But this was a strange one. The Colby's only done one series, and at the end of the Colby's one night, Fallon was on a country road. Now listen carefully. A spaceship came down and took her away.
Oh,
and that was the end of the Colby's, which was strange. Why was a spaceship in Colby's?
Well, maybe they were big Colby's fans and they just wanted somebody with them.
But a spaceship.
I bet you spaceships. I mean, there might be extraterrestrials watching us the news. Thinking, I love that David. I think I'll just fly down and scoop him up.
When it ended, I burst out your laughter. I could not believe a spaceship came into the Colby's. Go to YouTube, you will see that.
Right, now, there's one that you've forgotten. You've forgotten one. Right?
Oh.
And that is Knots Landing.
Oh, Knots Landing. I love Knots Landing.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, love Knots Landing. Yeah, of course.
Knots Landing. Do you remember Knots Landing?
Yes. And another one, Falcon Crest.
Falcon Crest. Yes, I remember that. That was a Friday night too, was it? No.
That's right. Yes. Right. There's a wee dwarf in it. A wee dwarf.
See, I think there should be more of that stuff on the telly.
Of course, son. I know.
The Americans in those days knew how to make good telly.
Oh, they did. But again, before I go, I don't like to keep you up. See, on Netflix.
Yes. Oh, well, we're not going to stuff on Netflix.
Okay. Right.
That's another company.
Right. Oh, sorry. They've got a new dynasty on that.
Ah, right. Excellent stuff. I wonder if you can still find the old gins.
Well, they just keep on like all your Sky channels, like, you know, drama, whatever, and do you know what I mean, etc.
That's right.
Know?
Well, we'll have a look for it. I love all that stuff.
I know. See, I better let you go. Eh?
No, listen, it's been lovely hearing you. And DINKY-DOO.
You too,
See you, la. Bye-bye now. That's our Davey. DINKY-DOO, I say. Looking very smart tonight, says Andrew Downey. Scottie, are you just back from the Rotary Club Christmas dinner? Good vibes. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. That's it, Charlie. That's it. It was the first one. I wasn't too sure of the first one that David was saying. It didn't kind of add up. There we are. Fantastic stuff. Right. To the telephones. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, Scottie. It's me, Pablo again.
Pablo. How lovely to hear you. Pablo, just 2 seconds. Can everybody on YouTube subscribe to the YouTube channel and tap the bell for the notifications? We need to get these numbers up, guys. If you're on TikTok and you're watching, you'll see the URL just below my bio. I've got 4,900 likes tonight on TikTok. Thank you. Right. Sorry, Pablo. I'm just letting everybody know what's what. Little bit of housekeeping.
Absolutely amazing. The numbers keep rising there, Scottie. Keep doing your job, mate.
They're going up. We'll just keep doing it. There, Betty was saying, I think you're battering your head off a brick wall. I don't think I am. There's Chris Grant wondering if Scottie McClue's got a website. The official Scottie McClue website, www.scottie-mcclue.com. www.scottie-mcclue.com. Now, Pablo, I want to hear you, please.
Right. So anyway, just a quick one, really. I wanted to know, where do you stand with, like, what a UK homeowner can do to protect their house in the modern day?
Well, it's very difficult, because the trouble is, if you assault a criminal, then you usually are the one that gets into trouble.
Yeah, that's it. But,
so if you went out and gave them an absolute leathering, then, you know, are you up for assault?
Yeah, well, that can come into play.
You see, it's interesting, because crims don't think it through. When they break into a house, they very often lift a knife from the kitchen. Now, that's their first mistake, because if they harm somebody with that knife, they're going to jail for life.
Yeah.
You see?
It happens on a lot of occasions.
So really, crims should stop the robbery and think, do I actually need to damage somebody's house? And then they do vandalistic things. Like I got broken into 20 years ago, and they cut a big cut in the leather sofa with a fruit knife.
Right.
So it's still repaired to this day, because I wasn't giving up my new sofa just because some wee vandal had cut it.
That's what they do as well when they break into the property. They don't get what they want. They smash the house up and wreck the house.
Yeah, well, you see, these people need to be put in a mental institution for the rest of their life. You see, you broke into a house, you are therefore now going to be incarcerated in a mental institution.
Yeah.
And until we start thinking that way.
Well, that's it, Scottie, but I've never understood the logic.
And maybe bring back a leathering by the police. So some wee lad goes, I broke into a house and I got birched by the police. You say, what happened to you? The police got us breaking into a house. What did they do to you? Oh, nothing. The nice sheriff said I wasn't to do it again. Right, I broke into a house and got caught by the police. What happened? They took me in the back of the van and leathered the shecht out of me.
They might not do it again, but
I think they might think, I don't want this again.
I don't know, they're quite stupid in the first place. Maybe
well, no, you see, I was doing radio and television when we didn't still have the birch, but I used to get calls from older people who had been birched in the Isle of Man because they kept it. I don't know if they've still got it, but they kept it very late.
Yeah.
Susan says, good night, Scottie, Martin, Emma, and Kareem. Sleep well.
Well, Scottie, what do you think about this? Because I was watching a video and it's about...
Pablo, this will make you smile, especially because you've been there. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. And somebody below, I thought they might have been talking about the show, said, chronic, ain't it? I thought, I hope they're not talking about the show, but they were talking about the COPD.
Yeah, the COPD, I think the C stands for the chronic.
Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or disorder. Love from all the family, says the wonderful Andrew Downey. Love to your family and to your good self, Andrew. Top people, quality people. You're coming in loud and clear, Scottie. Thank you. Are we clear to land, Andrew? What runway? Evening, Scottie from the Highlands. It's wonderful, isn't it? So, Pablo, what do you think should be done?
In regards to what the
Here's Skin Bob said, well, Skin Bob has said an interesting thing. He says, if people were birched, then it wasn't a deterrent. Now, he's got a point there. If the police had to birch them, I think some young people think they're untouchable and they think that they'll get away with it.
I just think
David says, no, Scottie, that would make us a police state. Would that be a bad thing?
I don't know. I just think UK homeowners haven't got enough. Like what they can do. I was watching this video about CCTV surveillance outside their house using one of these door cams, and the next door neighbour took the person to court who was using one, saying they were invading privacy and things like that.
No, I think you should forget all that. I think we need to tighten up on things like the sheriff or the judge goes, no privacy been invaded.
But I just don't understand what you can do as a UK owner. You can have a guard dog, but that's probably as far as you can go. Maybe some CCTV on the house.
I remember the country houses with the dogs, the sticker in the window that said, go on, break in and Mickey's Day.
Yeah, that's quality one, yeah.
You're right, Scottie. The Isle of Man used to leather the shecht out of them, says Andrew. So there you go.
Well, we can just about put a few spikes up and you still have to put anti-climb spike. I mean...
Yeah, but you see, I wonder when we've got to watch that. Somebody said the most extreme would be do not smoke in your own house, because if a non-smoking burglar breaks in, then it's his workplace.
Yeah. They probably rock your batteries out your smoke alarm as well. So
all that stuff, absolutely. I think we just need to get the message across to young people. Never, ever, ever consider becoming a crim.
Yeah, definitely don't rob a house. I mean,
never, ever rob anybody's house. Would you like if somebody came to your bedroom and took your smart speakers and all your stuff, you know what I mean, and just made off with them? I always thought how strange it would be if a person got back to their own house after robbing somebody's house and their house had been cleaned out.
That's it. You know, the strange thing is, well, Scottie, they rob off their own doorstep and sell to the people on the doorstep.
You know, and everything had gone, you know, their skins and their drugs and their foil and everything had gone.
Yeah, how would they feel?
Now there's Drewski saying you can never trust anyone, Scottie. I don't really believe that, Drewski. I've not lived my life that way, but I did have a very bad experience when a person that was involved in a business took a lot of money off me. But he was a very, very, very bad person. And it's the only bad person I've ever met.
Yeah, you can't live your life like that.
You can't live your life thinking you can't trust anybody. It just depends. Perhaps you can't trust some people with money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you just shouldn't lend them any. You know, I mean, I should never have allowed that person access to my money.
Well, that's it. My dad told me, if you borrow money off a friend, that friend no longer is a friend, it's an enemy.
especially if you slow and pirate back or something like that.
Yeah.
You'd have to rather not learn off your friends, and I think that's very true as well, Scottie.
Yeah, very, very good point. I'm going to have to dash. We're out of time, Dinky-Doo. Good night to the TikTokers. That's us, folks.